Freakup TV, Freakup Studio Live 2021 GSL Season 3.
What's up, everybody? It's time for Group B here in Season 3 of the GSL Code S. It's, again, good to be back here with you after having not casted all of Code A. I'm happy I'm back.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good to have you back.
It's pretty good.
I don't mind.
You're all right with it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So
less work for me, right? I don't have to intro the show. I don't have to.
That's the hard part, too.
Yeah.
The hardest part is to figure out, how to start talking and then go, when it's all done, like, we'll be right back. Like,
some people say you talk too much. I say you don't talk enough, Tasteless.
You leave it to me, Artosis, all right? I'll flap these gums all the way to the 4-hour mark and we'll be done.
All right.
The thing is, Artosis, these words come out of me. I don't know where they come from, but there's always something I got to say next.
I have a book you got to read, man.
What book?
The Secret.
Group A was not bad. Not, I think, our best day, but I think Group B especially should be maybe the most exciting group of games in the round of 16.
Yeah, I agree with that. And as far as Group A goes, I would definitely catch the PvP series. I think that was actually a really nice
fun.
That was a very action-packed, very cool series from Zest and Trap.
Here.
But yeah, Zest showing that he is still one of the top dogs. Now, today's Group B, Maru, Solar, SOS, Dream. This, to me, actually looks like the most exciting group that we have, like you just kind of mentioned there. And I just want to put my bold prediction forward, Tasteless. I think that SOS wins the group.
First?
I think he's coming out in first place. Yeah, I think he's going to go really deep this season. He's looking the best he's looked in years, in my opinion.
Wow, I feel like you said what I was supposed to say because I'm the SOS fanboy here. But honestly,
you are. But
I think SOS could get out. I think if he does, it's second. But I think he might not advance, Artosis. There you go.
That might be the dumbest thing
Do you feel
ever
the tension
said.
building here between you and me?
I could cut it with a knife.
You could cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah. I could braid the tension's hair right now. It's so thick.
조성주 선수가 좀 마이크 잡아주시고요. 선호하는 종족은 어떤 종족인가요?
다 알지 않을까요?
강민수 선수 마이크 한번 잡아주세요.
사실 좋고요. 우리 성주 나가면 뭔가 잃을 게 없는 느낌이라서 그리고 성주 입장에서도 뽑을 사람이 지금 저밖에 없어요. 그래서 뭐 얘기도 안 하고 그냥 지금 가서 뽑았으면 좋겠어요.
근데 저는 애초에 정하고 와가지고.
정하고 왔어요?
오.
알겠습니다. 그럼 바로 뽑아주세요.
오.
야, 애초에. 자, 지금 여기서요. 지금 바로 들어와서. 야. 와. 윈이 없는데요? 이거는 그냥 무조건 가서.
모든 스타트 팬들과 여기 있는 사람들 다 알고 있었던 일이라 뭐 그렇게 놀랍진 않고요. 원래 테란 찍으려고 했는데 지금 남아있는 테란들이 다 A주로 팔려갈 것 같아가지고
제가 강민 선수면 김유진 선수가 진짜 좋을 것 같아요. 이게 조성주를 잘 잡는 선수이기도 하고 최적의 선수가 김유진 아닌가 싶거든요.
긍정적이지 않아요?
네.
그나마
다 잘해가지고 그냥 뭐 뽑히면 가야죠.
진영이 형이 추천해준 선수가 제일 괜찮은 것 같아요.
잠깐만. 박진영이 만든 판이거든요. 지금 여기서 김유진.
테란이 3명 남아있더라고요.
네.
그래서 한 명은 제가 가질 수 있으니까 민수랑 나머지 테란 잡고 올라갈게요.
이야.
서로의 의견이 비슷해가지고.
네, 지금 뭐 서로 윈윈이에요.
복수할 때 됐어요.
야.
내가 얘는 이기겠지.
자, 그럼 이어서 이제 다음 선택 가보도록 하겠습니다. 김유진 선수 마이크 잡아주시고 좀.
제가 선택할 수 있는 테란이 한 명밖에 없을 줄 알았는데 그래서 뭔가 선택의 폭이 넓어진 것 같아서 좋고
네.
선택지는 테란 많아졌는데 잘못 뽑으면
뺏기잖아요.
바뀌어요.
뽑기 전에 물어보려고 원딜이라도 줄 수 있는지.
유석이를 데려갈 확률이 높을 것 같아요.
와, 저기 데려가겠다. 그러면은
학교 생활할 때부터 유진이 형이랑 하는 걸 너무 싫어했었거든요. 중혁이보단 유진이 형이랑 친하다고 생각을 하기 때문에 서로 피해줬으면 좋겠어요. 저 아니면 조국이 형으로 되는 분위기인 것 같은데 저 뽑아줬으면 좋겠어요. 나쁘지 않은 것 같아요. 조국. 뽑아달라고 하니까 뽑아야 될 것 같아요. 중혁이가 연습을 잘 안 하는 것 같더라고요. 꿀을 빨아야죠.
알겠습니다. 여기 조중혁 선수가 뽑아달라니 김덕 선수가 좀 이야기를 했고 다른 쪽 가고 싶다.
조중혁. 김덕. 같은 팀이었나?
유진이 형이랑 하는 거에 대해 솔직히 부담스럽긴 한데 이길 수 있을 것 같아요 이번에. 그리고 연습을 좀 내일부터 빡세게 할 계획이기 때문에.
오늘은요?
오늘 시간이 늦어가지고.
늦어서.
내일부터 이제
빡세게 해서 한번 올라가 보겠습니다.
Round of 16, Group B. Maru, Solar, SOS, Dream. 2021 GSL Season 3, Codex.
All right, guys, let's get into these games. Again, I'm digging the outfits for Season 3. Old school look. You could see Maru there with the Tommy gun in that picture, just out of frame.
SOS's picture looking so uninterested in what you have to say while you don't have his money.
Like you don't have his money.
Right.
So I think a lot of people, with the exception of Artosis, are thinking Maru gets out first.
Yeah.
It's a safe bet.
Who's he going to beat to get out first?
2 of the other players in the group.
Well, Solar then. You think Dream's going to beat SOS?
No, I think SOS can beat Dream. I think Maru beats both those guys.
You think Maru beats SOS? You know, they said during that thing, and like it's actually true, SOS normally beats Maru.
SOS normally beats Maru? Yeah, I
They're
don't know.
old teammates. He knows how he plays. Like SOS like solves people. He's like, oh, I know how your brain works.
But I feel like we're getting further and further away from that being as much of a factor. Like
SOS, dude, no, okay? SOS knows so much about Maru. Like, if Maru starts to beat him, SOS will probably just go like, oh, which will be like, it'll be like,
what will he do?
It's like the Maru Brown note where like he just, Maru like has an accident and can't win from there. He like has to get up and run to the bathroom or something. SOS just wins by default.
We need some kind of a Castor Brown note that we make some point that ultimately breaks the brains of all viewers. We're going to start this off on 2,000 atmospheres. It's Maru versus Solar. Of course, the winner goes on to the winner's match. This should be a tough one for Solar. Let's see what happens. Our game is loaded up. Game 1 in Group B starts now.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Team Envy, Maru.
Maru looks older than last time I saw him.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
does.
even
He
kidding.
looks like he's maturing a little bit more and more.
His face is a little bit thinner and stuff.
Well, Maru was
Heisey
such a
Gaming,
little kid
Solar.
when we first started.
Yeah. Solar looks the same.
No, Solar hasn't aged a bit.
Well, I'm excited for the group. Like, I think Solar is playing well. SOS, I think, is in the best shape he's been in years. Dream, I always really just enjoyed Dream in all the matchups. I think he's particularly good at Terran versus Protoss, but I think SOS is a tough match for any Terran. And then, of course, Maru is Maru, for God's sake, right? So the group should be amazing. I'm very excited about it.
Maru, his prep is very good, and he's just mechanically so clean. A lot of his victories are just simply put outpacing the other player, just getting more bases. Overall winning with more of the pushes and the engagements, and you know, all these little interactions and factors begin to add up into one massive lead that Maru comes through crushing with.
Yeah.
So to open this up, it's going to be Maru taking a quick expand here. We're going to have to wait a little bit and see what exactly Solar wants to do, but not in every game, but Solar has liked to do stuff with Nidus networks from time to time, or try to do some kind of pretty specific strong timing in ZVT before.
Sure, yeah, we've definitely seen that from him in the past. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to have planned here for Maru. It's hard because Maru is basically the best at everything, so it's like to get anything by him is pretty difficult, and Solar just in general has a pretty strong losing record against Maru, like we saw there in Legacy of the Void. It's like 24-11 in Maru's favor. And it's like Solar generally has a hard time getting to the round of 8, you know? Which is like a weird thing because everyone really respects him. He's really smart. He's really good. He just doesn't seem to do it, you know?
Yeah, he doesn't really seem to deliver outstanding results. So far, pretty perfect control here by Solar. I feel like that was a Reaper that got a little bit more airtime than normal in a fight at the Zerg's natural.
Yeah, you got a drone really low, 2 Lings really low, and killed a Ling, so that's... I mean, it's a high-quality Reaper. Reapers... I don't know. It's like, yes, Maru's better at microing the Reaper than other people. It's funny though, because like, remember when we were like really bagging on this part of ZVT because like we've seen it thousands of times and like literally thousands of times.
I feel like not one specific moment stands out to me ever. It's all blended together into one engage.
And the thing is, you're supposed to do it and they're supposed to block it, and it like basically looks very close to the same. I remember there was actually a Reddit thread about it where like, I did the math, and actually the people who like kill a drone or kill 2 Lings with it average higher wins or something, and it was like, it's not because of that, it's because one player's way better than the other.
Yeah.
This
like,
actually,
so what
the
you're
effect is very, very
this
low.
This thing that if I succeed in this task that is almost of no impact on the game overall, that will mean I will win. That's like such a bizarre way to think about it.
It was a funny thing.
It's like, well, no, if
to
they're
read.
doing that, they're probably doing a lot of other things throughout the game successfully.
It's like, yes, this player does have better micro than this player.
I found out that all the GSL players are wearing socks when they play, so you should be having socks on when you're at your computer at home. It's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah. Anyways,
also all serial killers had milk in their fridge. It's like, all right, this is just not. You're not connecting this correctly.
Oh my. So Raven coming out, kind of cool. We have seen that a little tiny bit recently. We just saw that in Code A. We saw one player do this with the quick Raven. I'm trying to remember who, and it's just not popping in my mind at the second. I'm sure I'll remember. Anyways, Stim on the way. It'll be interesting to see what he wants to do with the Raven. Is it just going to be auto turret harassment, or are we going to see him try to hunt down some tumors with that? I always thought that was going to end up being a thing. I really did. Like, with the Hellions that always are kind of dogging around, I thought, well, eventually I bet you someone's going to just bring a Raven so you're not having to use scans and you can clear a few of the tumors.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't really worked out like that. Like, the Queens are a little bit too good at putting that extra damage on. I think, Oh, he is doing it, though. I mean, I would love for that to become a thing, because then, like, me from 8 years ago is going to be like, yeah, see, I told you.
We've got the 1-1 upgrades coming here from Solar. Maru's continuing to roam here. I like this with the Raven, just cleaning up creep tumors.
Yeah.
And he's basically outpacing Solar's ability to kind of
preempt
this. So this is actually quite a bit. And he's just going to go for it. I guess he sees that there's an opening. It's a good thing he didn't, because there was a trap of Lings back there.
A trap of Lings.
A trap of Lings. It just comes out of me, Artosis.
Ooh, that's good, Tasteless.
And it's a good thing Maru didn't overextend, or I think he would have basically given up any lead he had, and all the creep tumors would have been replanted. So nicely done here by Maru, just continuing to be in control of this game.
I like these slight zones that we're getting with the auto turrets as well. That's the new thing that we're seeing out of Maru, like, with this tactic. Like, the way he throws the auto turret down, it kind of forces the Queens to not just right-click forward to keep getting the hits, because the auto turret does put out a lot of damage. Look, he's killed 12 creep tumors.
4
he
drones
did 4 slings and
17 Lings, yeah. More Lings are coming out now.
That was really cool. And look,
but I think the Hellions basically served their function, so
I liked that.
I think it's fine to trade that out.
Like, right now we have 24 Lings being made, so let's see, right? Because he does have that third base landed very, very quickly, which is cool, but like, if the Lings come up and punish him and he doesn't have the Hellions out now, then suddenly we can maybe look at that and say, was that the correct thing? I like the idea behind it very, very much, though.
Okay, here comes the medevac now. Now, this is not a great spot to drop since drones aren't mining, so he's going to go ahead and move through here. But there's quite a lot to answer this, and he's going to end up losing his medevac. He'll have to drop whatever he can get out. And meanwhile, this harass is getting picked up. Maru almost faster than our observer here. It's hard to keep up.
I would hope he's faster than the observer. Yeah. But no, it is hard to track every single thing he's doing here. He actually has his second factory almost halfway done already. He's coming back out on the map. He has that Raven with him as well. A lot of mines coming down. Very cool stuff that we're seeing. Still reacting at those mines. Already starting his 4th CC. Dude, Maru really is just on another level with Terran. It's just beautiful to see. Like, he is so active. Yeah, the auto turret comes down as he plants those mines, clearing out so many creep tumors already.
Yeah,
Look at that.
again, the auto turret placement is so good. I'm glad that you're remarking on it, Artosis, because it could be easily, skipped over. But he's doing a really good job, basically making the surface area not desirable to hit in with the lings.
Oh, absolutely.
Because StarCraft 2 moves so fast, you have to basically move everything at once very often. And there's moments you can't A-click, especially on an auto turret. That's absolutely not a useful way for a Baneling to connect onto anything. It's something that would just disappear in a short period of time.
Dude, this
man, that Bane at the bottom, nicely done, connects pretty well.
Yeah, Solar seems to be clearing this okayly, but yeah, I think overall, like, Maru's playing just phenomenally right now. He's keeping huge amounts of pressure on, but Solar does have 4 bases. Going up to Hive as well as that Lurker Den. Has 2-2 on the way. Like, more than halfway done. Damn, like, Solar, I mean, Maru's been putting a lot on Solar, but Solar's not playing half bad here. And he's playing against something that we don't really see, like this kind of more aggressive, many auto turrets, like clearing more creep type of game.
Yeah, and we got to watch this next engagement pretty closely. I think Solar's going to stretch this game out further, but if the next couple of attacks don't go well and a Widow Mine ends up connecting onto any Banes, there could be a chance that Maru would be able to break through this. But as I'm finishing that sentence up, it looks like overall Solar's chased him off his turf.
Yeah, I think that's he's going to have to slow down just for a moment. Well, as I say that, he just comes in on the other side with a very similar looking small group. But yeah, let's see what he can do. He's multitasking on both sides there, getting some mine hits. Yeah, it seems like Solar's holding well enough so far. Versus can change on a dime. It's 2-2 against 1-1, but that +2 attack almost done here for Maru. Viper's already being made. Getting his Hydra upgrades. He does have that Lurker Den. Also getting the Burrow upgrade, which is kind of cool to see.
Nice pickup here. Honestly, Solar's basically doing a good job fending off attacks from both sides. He's able to continue to grow and basically stay one step ahead here of Maru. Let's see how this next push goes, though.
Yeah, if Solar bleeds out too much Lingbane, it could become a big problem. He is making Hydras now to go with this. Starting to upgrade his Lurkers as well, but we don't see those Lurkers as of yet. So it seems like he wants to hold with Lingbane Hydra and then make the Lurkers a little bit later. But really, like, the story right now is whether or not he can hold this 5th base. Because Maru's on 4. You don't want to be losing this and going down to 4 base as well. That's a very tough situation.
Yeah, there's just enough Banelings with every fight that it looks like Maru can't quite crack through. But again, more and more Widow Mines are coming here. They're burrowing extremely fast now. And some really nice engagement here from Maru. This might be the first fight he wins. He's going to take the hatchery out. He can kill off these other Banes that are morphing right over here. And that's going to be some real value. Now, does Maru continue to push down here, or does he regroup? That sometimes is the hardest question in StarCraft after you kill a base, is do you keep going, or do you pull back and try to regroup and have a stronger push later?
Well, he went for it. It didn't quite work out. We're going to have some Parasitic Bombs going down on a couple of these injured medevacs, so I really like that move as well. Look at that. Eliminates a couple of them. So now it's 4 base, 4 base. So that was a great kill by Maru, but to be fair, we are now on Lurker Viper, which is the most cost-efficient thing you can do as Zerg.
Yeah.
And so that's like, if you're gonna be on, the same economy as Maru, this is the unit set that you need to be playing with. So I would say that Solar still has a chance. I mean, Maru is looking ridiculously strong and everything, but with this unit comp, if he plays this correctly, if he does not throw anything away and spreads correctly for his defense, this is doable.
Yeah, you got to be very careful to not just over-engage into Lurkers, but being out of position like this, that's a pretty big punish. The Zerg needed to remake that hatchery as quickly as possible, and Maru has shut it down again. A few more instances like that happening without any big wins here from Solar, and Maru's going to slowly skate ahead like he does in almost every one of his games.
A lot more Lings being produced right now. Solar coming up in that supply. Maru's basically maxed out, adding Ghosts now, getting some Siege Tanks out, getting that plus weapons for Siege Tanks as well. Actually gets a kill onto that hatchery. Boosting by as the Lurkers burrow. Gonna shoot the other hatchery from behind. Damn, man.
He's really everywhere. And now this drop's coming into the main, which is going to make things even more complicated. You know, Maru's doing a great job of basically punishing the fact that Zerg teched into Lurkers, and he knows that, you know, Lurkers can't really be everywhere at once, right? You have to constantly reposition.
Yeah, and I gotta say, one thing I really like that we're seeing from Solar here, and it kind of like plays into his image as a very brainy, smart Zerg.
Yeah.
He's using a lot of parasitic bombs, which is important, right? Like, if you're putting those, like for instance, those drops that were in the main base, he killed the medevacs. Which is, you know, that's the one way to really shut that down and put some damage onto Maru's actual army quality. So, love what I'm seeing there.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Again, though, I just worry that Maru. Oh, that was sick.
Yeah.
That was insane. I worry that Maru's just going to eventually outgrow him. You know, most of what we're watching here, from the observer standpoint, is the fights happening over the Zerg's area, where the Zerg either defends successfully or loses a base. But on the other side of the map, there's just more bases here for Maru. And I love this play here. Just staying out of range of the Lurker, snipes the hatchery.
Yeah, taking minimal damage while picking off the hurt building. Oh, that is just amazing for Maru. The amount of pressure he's keeping on. Look at this. He still has the siege tanks over here at the watchtower. I love it, man. He's inspiring to watch.
Yeah, it's truly impressive. The Nidus network is coming now. And as Terran begins to stretch out more and more on the map, taking more bases, sometimes this is the best moment to have a Nidus network in the main.
Yeah, and he hits this 5th base, so he's at least going to keep Maru on like somewhat equal economy right now. And yeah, let's see what he's going to do with the Nidus. I'm looking around. Is that an Overlord in like the right below Maru's main? No, I don't think so actually. We'll see where he sends it. Okay, I think I see like a Speed Overseer going to the top left, so maybe he's going to go top left and shift click it over top right.
Now, there's going to be a small push down here. I think Solar's learned his lesson and has repositioned the Lurkers where there really isn't a workaround here. All those, not all of them, but some of them are in range where even if you tried to scoop down through the bottom, you'd get punished.
Yeah, Maru starts to come in. That is, yeah, you're going to lose everything right there.
Yeah. Solar's now growing up into the upper left side of the map. And, you know, honestly, has really held his own this entire game. Despite losing a base here or there, he's really fought back well.
Yeah, and I really like the style. Just the fact that, like, he had a hard time keeping the bases alive, but rushed up to his hive that quickly. Oh, wow, looks like the Ghost cleared out the possible incoming Nidus there.
Yeah.
A couple Vikings are being made now as well, so I think he has a decent idea of what Solar's thinking about. By the way, Solar is expanding everywhere right now and Nidusing over at the 5th base location of Maru.
This is a unique dilemma for the Terran because you have a base in the top left and a base in the bottom right. It's kind of hard to hit both of those at once. And so even if you manage to take out one of those bases, there's another one that's already in the opposite location. And if Maru doesn't take out one of these bases, this game is going to come to an end pretty soon.
Yeah. I gotta say, Solar's putting out a really high-quality game. Maru definitely dictated a lot of this game, but Solar, with this unit comp, he's like, hasn't been wasteful. Let's see if that's gonna change. This is a million Lurkers. My God.
Whoa, yeah. Big overextension there from Solar. A little bit overconfident that he could just basically force his way into that position. And, you know, between the Ghosts and the tanks, there's no way that's going to be an even trade.
The amount of Zergs that throw just like that, ZBT, is actually almost disturbing. It's like, when people started using Lurkers, there were a lot of planetaries that were getting blown up. But I feel like Terrans have gotten better against that. There's a lot more deep tank lines. There's a lot more Ghosts around to help with that. And I feel like that strategy in general has diminishing returns. So would like to see Solar continue to kind of stay back in a slightly more defensive posture. Of course, that's always a little bit tough against Maru since he is very good at Supreme late game TVZ.
Yeah, but we're in Supreme late game, and right now I think Solar's honestly in a better spot. He's certainly banked up more minerals and gas, but the only spot that Terran can realistically take right now, it has creep on it too.
Yeah.
I mean, Solar is basically just has to keep this position and win any fights that come out from the Terran, and he should be in good shape. He could do a little bit better on his creep spread, but other than that, I mean, Solar is really playing one of the better ZVTs we've ever seen.
He is. He really, really is. He's played an awesome, awesome game here, and he's taken a lot of the map control. Maru, he's adding like so many command centers. He's adding a ton of planetaries, continuing to get which upgrades are missing. And, you know, a little bit of harassment, a little bit of damage here and there.
Oh my god,
but even
he
something
saves
like
this.
that, yeah, he saves it, but let's say that he doesn't save it. Let's say that gets killed, but he loses all those units. The hatchery is actually worth a lot less than that many units, right?
No!
Oh, well, he does end up killing it there. But, you know, a hatchery is worth less money than 3 Marauders at this point in the game. Like, when you think about it, with the bank that Solar has, he doesn't actually need that base yet.
When you're in the early part of a game, you know, a hatchery or command center is a big deal because there's not that much money to work with. But once you're mining out, you know, the entire map, it's peanuts.
Yeah, eventually you have to think about overall cost efficiency and stuff. I bet you, it feels like it's time for Maru to go into mass nukes from here. Start doing some nuke pushes and stuff.
Seems like it.
Because, yeah, he has to do a lot of stuff here because Solar is not throwing anymore. He made the one attack that looked like it could have been, but he pulled back without losing too much. So, yeah, he's just kind of playing a very smart game here, and his bank is going up and up and up because he's not wasting things. So, yeah, how does Maru actually fight back in this situation? Look at this. Oh, my God. He has 17 tanks, 11 ghosts. He has almost no bio. I love it.
Seems like Zerg is going to make a stand here, trying to make sure that there's no way for Maru to expand in this upper left area. Again, there's only one base, really, that Maru can take and try to mine from. And so, at this point in time, with the way the game's gone, Zerg can basically trade unfavorably into this position over and over, and it's probably going to be fine for him.
Dude, this is an amazing unit composition, though, that Maru's making. Right? He has almost no Marauders and Marines. Those are not going to be that efficient at this point, right?
Yeah, I love that he's putting the Nidus there basically so a command center can't land.
Yeah.
We've never really seen a Nidus quite used like that. Like, it's not really the goal to have stuff come out from that position. He just wants a building there. Kind of like when, you know, Zerg drops creep under a command center that's going to float somewhere.
And actually, for the Zerg point of view, that's like a kind of a tempo-based play, right?
Yeah.
Because if Solar can trade at, like, you know, if he can trade even at a slight deficit here, but keep Maru off of that base for long enough, he'll win.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very intelligent move that he's doing there as well. I'm actually like just completely, like, I already knew these two players were amazing, but this is just such a great game. This is a fantastic game. And the fact that Maru is like going for a composition that looks like this, where it's like, there's so much efficiency here. The fact that it's like tanks and ghosts for the most part, and he's just utilizing like EMP on the Vipers. He's using a ton of snipes. He's pushing slowly but surely. And, you know, just letting things like planetary siege tank grind through.
Yeah. Where's the ghost? Oh, I see it now. Okay. Couldn't find it for a second.
You're not allied with Maru, man.
So he's got this base up. Now, Zerg still has enough of the map. By the way, take a look at this. Inside the planetary, the sensor field down there at the bottom right, there's a hatchery coming.
Oh,
he's expanding
yeah, the rich gas, yeah.
He's expanding within vision, basically, on the mini-map of the Terran. Kind of an awkward angle to come in here. Whenever you have, especially in StarCraft 2, units start to hug the corner, like, you need to move directly through the middle of areas. You don't want to right-click somewhere where everybody's getting, you get congestion with the army movement around turns. That is especially bad against a Terran that has siege tanks.
Yeah. No, totally. And the composition that Maru has made, you can't really attack him with a lurker-based army at all, because all of his units are basically good against this now. If you're like running up your lurkers, they're taking 1,000,000 shots to kill one tank.
Right.
So we see that he's actually switching over now into Broodlord Infestor for the most part. But Maru is already on top of that. He's starting to add some Thors in as well. And don't forget, he already has been making Vikings. He has a lot of Ghosts. So, well, I don't think it's a bad idea to go Broodlord Infestor. I mean, I can't think of anything better to do against Maru's strategy here, against his unit composition. But it's like Maru, I think, can still play against this as well. Damn, man, Solar is actually putting out such a good game.
Yeah, Solar's playing the ZVT of his life. I'm really impressed. Although he's lost that spot in the top left, he did mine out a decent amount from there. In fact, I think it's possible that half of the minerals at that base are gone.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't notice how many drones he actually sent up there, but that would be amazing. Like, anything he can suck out of there, because he has bottom right mining.
Right. So he just basically sidesteps the nuke. Terran's going to push down here in the bottom. Is this going to be responded with Zerg coming to defend this, or Zerg attacking into the top?
He's going to burrow a few lurkers here. Those can be cleaned up relatively easily, though. Just throws that scan down. Going to kill 2 of the lurks, so very nice move there from Maru. The single Liberator coming out for its harassment.
Yeah, that gets killed off. You know, Solar seems like he's had enough of the map that it can get pretty abusive, but Maru has finally gotten to the point where he's just starting to bank lots of minerals, lots of gas. We've casted many games like this before, and the general rule you're watching for is whoever mined the most on the map is probably going to win as long as they are trading reasonably efficiently. And so this causes a problem here for Maru, who has not even been able to dominate his half of the map.
Yeah.
It's been something like 65% map dominance here as far as bases with Solar.
Yeah, he really has to clear top left and keep it cleared.
Yeah, and he needs to
That's
soak
going to
up
be
all the
how
minerals.
Solar wins, is that top left base.
What a first game this is, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here for at least a half hour in this game.
Oh yes, easily. I think today is quite likely to be very long.
I think so.
Like SOS is preferring some Supreme late games as well if he starts playing Solar. He is really into like Tempest carrier type play. So Broodlord and Infestor, we have some Vipers, we have some Lurkers. Ooh, nice EMPs coming out.
Yeah, not bad at all. The Broodlords are going to come down here and just start to hammer at all these units on the low ground. There's enough shots coming out that these Banelings can't quite connect. And basically, Maru can keep nuking this area. The Zerg, unless the Zerg just doesn't notice this nuke, should be able to run away. So that's what he's going to do. He's just going to pull out of this area. Looks like a lot of these Infestors are going to be hit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's some very hurt Infestors. Kills one as well. And don't forget, like, Terran basically in this matchup will never spend all of their gas. So you can, in my opinion, you can think of nukes as just 100 minerals.
Yeah.
So if you're killing, you know, what's the math on it? Like, if you kill one Infestor with a nuke, it is way more than paid for itself.
Right. So, I mean, Maru is slowly fighting back. I guess this base down there in the bottom he could take, but I feel like Zerg can easily, with the fact that the minerals are pointed towards Zerg, I feel like there's just so many ways to punish that.
Well, yeah, it's like the low mineral rich geyser bases are so weird to take on this map.
Yeah,
like,
for the Terran too.
Yeah, for anyone to mine from those, it's like, oh, they're in such a weird spot. Like, you have to really control that part of the map to be able to mine from there. So those are probably like, it's very reasonable that we could see this game in a situation where those are everything that's left and no one can mine from them, you know?
Right. Okay, coming forward. This is kind of a funny little no man's land in between these two areas, but what's most important to note is that to the upper left of the screenshot we had earlier, the Zerg is still soaking up all the minerals and gas from this base. I think Maru is probably going to lose this game in the long run, unless we see some pretty insane engagements where Terran wipes out the entire army, gets a push, closes everything out, and then is able to fight whatever else is going to be remaxing here.
Yeah, you're actually right. He mined a lot of the minerals there already.
Yeah, 2 patches almost gone.
Yeah, that's definitely painful.
Oof. Yeah, and I just don't see a moment where Maru is going to gain any ground here. I mean, basically, Zerg doesn't actually have to kill the Terran's bases anymore. The Zerg knows there's a finite amount of minerals on the Terran side, and it's much less than what the Zerg is having to work with. And so basically, Zerg can just run the clock, mine everything out if he wants to, and then go for a fight.
Ooh, I like this move that we're actually seeing. Look at how he sets up the ranged Liberators. This is to zone back the Infestors.
Yeah, it's
so that
pretty
the
smart.
Infestors can't come up and do fungals or you know, Neurals or anything like that. I really, really like that play. That's actually something that Maru was using a few years ago against Infestors, where he'd mass siege the Liberators so they couldn't really get up on him.
Yeah.
Remember when he was going like mass Liberator, mass Thor for a little bit? You remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, Maru's starting to push
in fact,
in here.
That was a game against Solar once.
Ooh, nuke.
Oh my. If he had
really
gotten
good
that
fungal
off,
there. Whoa!
that would have been some front page Reddit material right there, too.
Yeah. I like this, though, just running up here. It's funny to see him just mining the gas. I feel like it's more important to mine from this base than anywhere else. Because it's not just that you're getting the resources there, you're taking that away from the Terran if they push in there, you know?
Totally. Anything you can get from it is really good. You know, obviously Zerg is wanting gas a little bit more than Terran in this matchup for sure. So to grab that gas, I can't fault him on that.
So, I mean, Zerg just kind of waltzes in and retakes the bases that Terran wipes out. Again, it's 8K in minerals here, 3K in gas. I can't imagine how many larvae are actually waiting to just be turned into something here. Nuke's coming over here.
This is such a funny game, right? Like, look at these weird armies that we have. I guess the Zerg army isn't that weird. We've seen armies that look like that a lot of times. But the Terran army's kind of a funny numbers. He's got like 3 Marauders. He's got 2 Mines. He's got 5 Medivacs to go with those 8 Ghosts. He's almost got a Medivac per Ghost here. 9 Vikings, 5 Liberators. I gotta tell you, he's missing a single Raven. 1 Raven would be good.
1 Raven would complete that. That would be cherry on the cupcake. So Terran finally comes into this area. Now, I don't know if Zerg is going to try to pounce on that or what.
Yeah, and look, I mean, even though Solar got some of that, don't forget we still have the 2 rich geyser bases that can be mined from. They've been almost zero mining has occurred there so far.
Right. Okay, he's going to come through here. Beautifully done.
Yeah, the Blinding Cloud's doing fantastic on top of those Thors, pushing them back.
Wow. Terran just getting all chewed up over here. The Corruptor's now hitting those Liberators.
Oh, he actually does not have any detection there. So the Infestors just like burrow moved under all those Liberators before they were actually all dead as well.
Kind of an insane game, and Terran wounded is having to flee from this situation here, and there's going to be an opening for the Zerg to then come in here and sweep up this base that is in the northwestern part of this map.
Yeah, this is looking like a Solar victory, man.
Yeah,
there's like no bank left for Maru. He is going to lose bases and everything. Still Solar maxed out with a gigantic bank of 8K, 3K.
So that's going to be it for that base, and I think that's probably it for Maru's opportunities. You know, he's had to go back into his coffers and use up his savings.
Yeah. Even running out of gas at this point.
Yeah, you see 25 gas, that's kind of the big indicator. Like, you can't just make a tank now or anything else. You know what I mean? Like, well, there's a point where you have so much, you just make whatever you can think of. But that was the moment where Zerg basically won that fight, has continued to dominate economically, and I think we're going to, when we eventually do go into Game 2, which should be in a minute or two here, we're going to need to see Maru play, I think, a little bit better in the mid-game.
Huh.
You know, basically, Maru was
you think he was like overextending or something?
Yeah, and I think what happened was Solar basically pushed Maru back on both fronts, then expanded on both fronts, and then Maru really wasn't pushed anymore. Zerg basically had map dominance.
Maru went into an extremely defensive unit comp, which in turn did force the Broodlord Infestor tech switch because the Lurkers weren't going to do anything from there, right?
Right.
So that's a hard line to tread. I wonder how Maru's going to try to fix that. The one thing, actually, I think I have a good idea. I think that Solar should go pool first in the next game. I think Maru can look at this and be like, oh, I don't want to be put in this position again.
Yeah.
And Maru busts out his good old proxy 2 racks.
Yeah. I think that he's going to play a very different game. I think you're probably right about that prediction. So Terran's still trying to get anything done here. We have long distance mining happening with these SCVs.
Yeah, Solar here still with a 6K bank. Wait, I'm confused. He was making a layer. Does he just want more health for sucking out energy or something? Must be, right?
I think so. So Terran's still getting a little bit here. Again, the dilemma though is you can't get gas. I mean, until he starts to mine from that. But I mean, you know, without gas,
Yeah,
you really can only make Marines and Hellions, which are not going to
sure.
be very handy. Another big engagement coming in here, and so many Banes rolling in.
Oh my god. Yeah, the Bane's going to get in on top of just about everything. The Thors are doing some serious work, but it's not going to be enough. Everything looks like it's going to get cleaned up at this point. Yeah, look at this. The Knurls coming out as well. And GG. What a game from Solar.
Solar,
man.
you know, playing the ZVT of his life.
I think the early game Maru looked amazing there too. He was all over the place. I really liked the Raven Hellion ideas that he had on. The timing of landing that third base was super cool.
Right.
He busted up the fifth base, which was nice. That was a very good game.
It was a really nice long TVZ. I really appreciate that. And I think you probably are right in your prediction, dude. I think he's going to do a proxy.
Yeah, it's time.
Right? He has to.
Yes. Yes, he's Maru. Like, he has those anyways, but like, Solar avoided a lot of the pitfalls that other Zergs have in this matchup. Like, he started to attack the Lurkers, and he's like, no. He has enough tanks, he has enough planetaries, let's not do this.
Yeah,
and he played that long, drawn-out game. He took his time, he grinded Maru down.
All right, guys, this is game 2 on Lightshade.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Team Envy, Maru.
What is going on? Okay.
Kaizi Gaming, Solar.
All right, so I guess it's not going to be a Proxy Rex.
Yeah, this is
But it is a gas first. I mean, he might just... I'm trying to think what he wants to do here. I was going to say maybe he switches it up into like a battlecruiser and a mech build or something, but honestly, 2000 Atmospheres is a great map for that, and he skipped it there. He's not going to do it on Lightshade, right?
I don't know.
Could be. I mean,
The weird thing about that last game was like Solar really just straight up played better than Maru in pretty much every metric, which is kind of crazy to say.
yeah,
Like, Maru really couldn't keep up and couldn't stop the Zerg.
well,
You know, we bring this up from time to time, but you know, like when you're against the really good Zergs, no matter which StarCraft you're in, or even which expansion in StarCraft 2, the Zergs that are the scariest are the ones where you can't like leave your base, where they just kill everything. That game got to that point. Maru's got like one position in the top left. He's trying to basically have everything angled at and fight, and Zerg's just like holding back.
Yeah.
And then right when the Zerg sees the Terran's overextended a little bit, he dives on it and just wipes everything out.
yeah, the grinding down of Solar there was amazing. It was just... I loved the decision making. It was really awesome. And this is an exciting season, I think, in a lot of ways, because some of these previous seasons, like, they were good, and we were excited about certain things, like Zaun, for instance, you know, coming up and looking really good, and is Bjorn gonna reach his old glory? You know, there's been some fun storylines and stuff, but this season, actually, it feels like Solar is a bit renewed, and it really feels to me like SOS is super renewed.
Yeah.
And these are some players that are like, you know, these are big parts of StarCraft's history where you like want them to do well, and you know, you want them in their top shape, and they haven't had the greatest time for the last couple of years, but now they're looking really good.
I really like that we've been casting this game for a long time. I think an RTS really actually needs years before it really has kind of developed enough to where we not only understand the game more, like honestly, guys, and I know there's like, personally for me, I find it annoying, these people that just nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
Like those were the best days, the first few years. I'm like, go back and watch the games.
Yeah.
I encourage you to go back and look at that. I mean, it was fun and it was a different time, but we did not have the kind of quality games that we have now.
Yeah, the thing is, I think the excitement is high when things are new, which is why people have those really positive associations, even though, without a doubt, the games are better now, and we understand what's going on, which means it's like there's more truth in the beauty, if that makes sense. But yeah, that is kind of an interesting thing about StarCraft and RTS in general, is that, you know, a lot of games, like, you have them and they're competitive for a bit, and like the older they get, you're like, there's like a lot wrong. Whereas with RTS, it's like the longer they're around, you're like, oh my god, it just keeps getting deeper and more beautiful and more awesome.
People are able to find more stuff inside the game, or ideas start to come out, or we end up with some sort of enhancement in mid-game or late game that people, you know, new optimizations or different tech or completely new ideas. But yeah, a lot of people nostalgia trip, and I always say, look, I mean, it was fun because everything was new, and you know, we don't know what the future holds, but the games that we have now are so much better.
Yeah, and backed up by, you know, all the stories over time, and then like seeing all the different ways that these different strats are being played and watching the evolution. It's really quite nice. And this is like the longest we've gone without a balance patch too. It's been a year.
Yeah.
A little over a year.
Nothing's gone haywire yet.
Yeah, it's definitely not in some
sign.
sort of unplayable state, which could have happened previous times. So
right.
I mean, obviously it would be kind of nice to get a patch, but still we're having some good variety. She's holding up, Tasteless.
She's holding up.
If StarCraft 2 had a hood, I'd pat it right now.
So in this game, I mean, it's been mostly passive. We've had a couple pokes from the Terran, but
yeah, decent little drone kills here and there, and the cloaked banshees flying around, getting the damage done that they can.
Yep.
Evos are coming a little bit behind the E-bays here of Maru. Flying up to the main. He's not very likely to find much damage here.
Yeah, he's not going to get much done with this. We've got Stim done with 1-1 coming. Terran taking a third. Again, a pretty slow start. I think this is a map where you can have action early, but so far we don't have that.
Healing speed coming up with that 1-1. Be interesting to see how Solar wants to play this. Are we going to end up seeing a Spire? Are we going to end up seeing a Hydralisk Den? Possibly go directly into Hive. Lots of Lings being produced.
Okay,
it's a very solid 3-base economy right now, so I do like the addition of the Lings before redroning.
Yeah, the game will continue to build up here. The Banshees scanning here and then taking out the creep tumors is probably the best usage you can get from them right now. Is this Link just going to be able to run in here?
Possibly. Killing off a few more tumors there.
So I think the push is going to be coming now. I don't see any really easy area to push in other than the bottom, or the center left, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can get that. This probably will be a Terran win. Unless Sir can fight back. You can basically park just on the edge of the creep.
Yeah, and not just that, he's going to have 1-1 combat shields. They're all lined up. So look, as he's hitting here, his upgrades are finishing, which means he's up 2 upgrades. Lings don't like to be down 2 upgrades against Stim Bio.
Ooh, and he's even going to kill off these other Banes over here.
Yeah, he is getting on top of that hatch.
Look at how he splits this. Even the placement of the Hellions there in the front.
And Solar's going to dive in. He has to clear this. Ooh, okay, gets the tanks.
Yeah, the problem is that there's no Banelings right now, and so these Marines can basically win this fight.
Yeah.
As long as he targets the Banes, and he does. And Terran wins this by leaps and bounds, honestly.
You know what? That was kind of crazy because 1-1 just finished like 1 second ago here for Solar.
Oh, I actually missed that. I'm glad you're pointing that out.
If he had 1-1 for all that, I think he actually might have saved the hatchery.
GG. Maru takes game 2.
Because that was close enough, being down 2 upgrades. Like 2 upgrades in Lings versus Marines
It's a lot.
It's insanity how much it swings it. So
Well, it's funny how the damage spikes up on both sides, but if one starts to get like an edge and in like a quarter of a second of that,
Yeah.
how quickly it just swings the whole fight. We even saw it in the end there when those Marines were surrounded by the Lings, and it's like, no, attack and armor are good right now.
Yeah.
We're all just barely going to not die.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be healed up by the medevac, and then you're going to lose.
Yeah, it was greatly done there by Maru. And I mean, Solar seems pretty unfazed, honestly. Although I almost feel like he should be a little bit tilted from that, right? Because that was such a fast victory for Solar after for Maru after Solar had to grind out game 1 in such a way. And if only he had been able to just kind of get that 1-1 a little bit quicker, maybe hold on to that 4th base. I mean, Light Shade was Maru's map pick, so he takes it down. Good on him.
Very straightforward, strong push from the Terran. Let's see what happens in game 3. You know, it can be hard looking back on game 1 to really see if there was any major moment where Maru did something wrong other than the, I guess, I mean, it's not really that insightful, but he didn't really succeed with any of those pushes. But maybe with those pushes in game 1, he was being a little bit too fancy. He was actually hitting too many locations at once, where it might have been better to just actually put everything together and just have a focused, like a laser-focused attack, like we set, like we had in that last game. I mean, he killed off some creep at the top of the map with the Banshee, and then basically just looked at the 4th base and said, all right, we're going to set up cleanly here. We're going to engage. We may see the same thing in game 3.
Yeah. Controlling the creep, obviously a big part of that because the creep spread is not down, like kind of extending beyond the 9 o'clock base very far at all. He had like 1 tumor beyond that, so that was a quick push from Maru. But yeah, I mean, the harassment overall with the Hellions into the Banshees, just kind of like slowing him a little bit, and all that stuff just stacking up for Maru's push to end up winning the game.
Yeah.
All right, so map 3, it's going to be Romanticide. Oh, this is like, I think, the best map for mech builds.
Yeah.
Will we see that out of Maru? Like, if he wants to go to a late game, because the thing is, this map is very good for defending, right? Like, it's less likely, I think, for Maru to be able to just come in and kill a base.
Will he do proxy racks? You were talking about he might do that in game 2, but
there's some serious proxy racks on this map, you know, with like that mineral wall at the 3rd base, like over in that area. We've seen some very tricky maneuvers.
Yeah,
maybe.
Kind of a tense moment here. I mean, Maru basically flexed pretty hard in game 2.
Yeah. You do not want to go to the loser match either.
No,
this
is
a
hard
dangerous
group. This is a really, really tough group.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go into game 3 now. The winner goes on to the winner's match here in Group B of the GSL.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Team Envy, Maru. Kaizi Gaming, Solar.
Exciting game. No proxy racks. Yeah, let's see, man. I actually kind of want to see a mech game. I like Maru's mech. Feels a little bit different from most people's mech. It feels like he moves around more with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And not just like a battle mech comp, but like
and not like Gumiho either.
Yeah, no, very different. Well, Gumiho really is the most different of the mech players.
Yeah. Yeah, Gumiho was sort of showing that there were still Terran styles we haven't yet seen, where, you know, a lot of times we kind of assume that what we see now will always be the way the game is approached. But so again, no proxy here. You know, we've been confident 2 games in a row that Maru was going to do this. But
yeah, I thought for sure we'd end up seeing one.
Definitely had entire years where Maru proxied more than he didn't proxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's dialed it into a little bit more conservative play.
Who knows? Maybe if they meet in the final match again, because that can always happen, right?
That's true. You
Maybe
don't know
that's
if you're
where
done.
you busted out.
Yeah, you don't know if you're done with this opponent yet.
Yeah.
It's one of the funny things about GSL groups is that they just, you end up with these rematches where you've got this other opponent in your group that's just, he's really the one you have to overcome the whole way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's going second racks right now. Okay. Oh, is this going to be that really marine-heavy game? That marine-heavy play? Do you remember some of these games where they went for the double quick racks? I want to say actually Dream is the guy who first pulled it out, but like sudden heavy marine pressure in the center, and then you followed up with the siege tank and medevacs.
Yeah.
That I wonder if it's going to be that.
Yeah, I think it absolutely could be.
Yeah. All right. All right. It looks like he's going to go towards stim there. I mean, yeah, I'm fascinated. I'm really excited to see exactly how Maru's gonna play from here.
We can totally have very long games on this map. I mean, you were mentioning earlier it's kind of hard to have any good place to hit the third base.
Yeah.
Although I suppose Terrence can kind of push up behind those minerals at the third and kind of abuse that area.
This almost looks like a 2-on-1, like the two medevacs flying out with the Marines really quickly.
Oh, sure, like what Innovation does every game.
the old Bjorn build, remember? Yeah. That year where Bjorn won the World Championship and did that build every single game in like most of the matchups.
yeah.
It's like, I am very good at microing these.
Yeah,
Yes, Bjorn,
I am
you
so
are.
good at this one thing. And so, I mean, if that's going to be what we've got, the action will pick up in a minute or two here. But if I would have to imagine that Maru probably just wants to take a few very concentrated fights well and try to close it out. I don't think you want to get into that late game with Solar again.
Well, a 2-on-1 can speed him right along, right?
Is this Overlord going to scout this?
Oh, well, he sees that is a suspicious amount of Marines for sure.
Right.
He did not see the other buildings.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. The reactor.
But yeah, the positioning of that, I think he knows it's a 2-on-1 now.
Yeah, I think he has to just play as if it's that, and it is that.
Yeah, he starts a Baneling Nest. He's making more queens. You want to have like 7 queens plus 1 carapace going and a lot of lings to hold this. Let's see. He's making a lot of lings. Yeah, here comes the Evo now. I think he got enough intel because that's not where you would make Hellions from ever, right?
Right.
That would just not be the move. Oops. What's his queen count at? Has he got 6?
What do you think about this add-on not being used right now? The reactor.
Oh, I didn't notice actually.
Yeah, he's got something
right?
landed next to it. I'm just curious about that.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what that's all about.
Yeah, if he wants to make another add-on later and stick something else there, it's just kind of...
Oh, it's the one that the... Oh, I see. Okay, so maybe he's going up to the tech lab on that instead.
Nice kill. Does snipe one queen and pulls away at the last second. Maru's so precise with that.
A second factory?
Oh, weird.
Interesting.
So it's going to be upgraded bio, switching into mech.
You think so?
Yeah.
Or is he just going to go for really quick Widow Mines to go with this?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, he throws down 2 eBays, so I think he
never
wants
mind.
to get like drilling claws and 1,000,000 Widow Mines.
Yeah. And basically offset the Zerg's position where a surprising number of Widow Mines where it's just kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah, there it is, drilling claws. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is a neat take on the strategy.
Yeah, I
here
actually
from Maru.
misread it. I thought he might be going for like massive amounts of
total mech switch.
Yeah, we've seen this happen sometimes in StarCraft where it's like full-on tech switch.
Yeah,
Really good control here with those Banes, or with those Marines against the Banes.
Yeah, I like this quite a bit from Maru.
Oh
He's going to force the cancel there on that 4th base, which is really nice.
First major blow here. The Zerg's 4th base has been stopped.
Yeah, 1-1 now starting for Maru.
Gets it again. He can actually chase his queens on a creep.
Oh, nice. Yeah, any picks he can get right now
He's
are
so
really good.
sick. He's so good. Look at that. escapes perfectly, can regroup, then heal up. And again, we haven't incorporated the Widow Mines yet with the Drilling Claws.
Yeah.
But that's coming. He's kept the creep back. He basically has a very good set of territory to launch attacks on. Doesn't even get that canceled. Actually, just outright kills the hatchery.
Damn, man.
Insta dives
keep
into
doing
the
this
main.
forever?
Yeah. Comes here to the natural. I don't know why I decided this was the main. I just said that, but it's not true. He backs up. He'll regroup over here.
Flies into Solar's 5th. I'm like, Tasis, that is...
This isn't happening. As I said it, I'm
We're
looking, I'm
7
like,
minutes
yeah.
into the game,
I'm
man.
like, I've casted a lot of games on this map. I don't know what to say. He, once again, has not been able to get this 4th base up here. Now, when these Widow Mine drops, it's going to pull a lot of these lings away. So he's going to drop 1, 2 over here. And then continues to drop.
It's actually Solar's dealing with it pretty darn well, to be honest. Yeah, no, that was about as clean a dealing with as you could get in this situation.
Yeah, he shut it down pretty well.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Another attack in over here. There's just not enough Marines, though, this time. Somehow that one gets away, wiggles out of there. Now, 1-1's almost done. And he's going to have a very good position to set up and really launch attacks from this high ground coming down from the ramp. But first, another Widow Mine drop. And again, the Zerg has to have, like, instant reactions here if this is going to work.
And Solar has instant reactions here.
Yeah.
He is playing so fast right now. Normally, by now, we would have had one that cut like 7, you know?
Yeah,
but we're seeing a maximum of 2 kills for these mines.
Each one of those burrowed Widow Mines is a purchased lottery ticket. You know, if your opponent doesn't react in time, then you can devastate the economy. And sometimes that's all you need when you have a small group of Marines on the outside of their base as well.
He's continuing to produce a lot of mines here. Still getting this up here. Oh,
that was so sick.
15 kills.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just continues to send out these medevacs full of the mines. Let's see if Solar can keep this up. Trying to drop those off. Nice burrow and reburrow moves going on.
Yeah, I didn't expect to have this much dropping. I kind of thought he was going to put all the mines in with a push, but so far this may end up playing into Solar's hands here if he can keep this up.
Well, yeah, he hasn't really done as much as he was looking to. That's for sure. I think he thought he'd get at least a couple mines that killed big chunks of drones, but so far Solar's defense has been great, but Maru is keeping him pretty far down in bases. Like he's had a hard time actually securing that 4th. It is up now, the 5th base getting canceled there. And don't forget, Solar is going up into Lurker Tech here as well. He's on that hive, so it's looking like for Maru, he's opened very, very extremely differently than Game 1, but a very similar game plan from Solar here as Game 1, where he did win. Oh, damn, 30 drones there. Let's do the mine drop there.
Oh. Yeah, this is a pretty insane push here from the Terran. There's a lot of Widow Mines. They're going to connect directly. Yeah, and Terran is just everywhere. Whoa, it's like 360 degrees of Terran's pushing. It's like Terran's push up over the high ground behind the minerals. I'm like, was Terran on every spot on the map there? Was that the last building Zerg had?
Marines unburrow into drone line. I'm like, damn, Maru.
That was weird.
That looked like a spherical flank.
It was like a really close game until suddenly, yeah, there was just Marines at every single angle. Drones were literally taking off their masks and they had Terran helmets on and they were shooting down the other drones. I'm like, okay, man.
You made your point. He's
dead. Yeah.
I think Solar, he played well. He won that first game. That Romanticide game, like, that was really interesting for Maru. He macroed up really quickly. He kept the aggression on. Solar was blocking the drops, but it wasn't enough. Quick commercial break, then match 2, SOS against Dream.